Life isn't perfect, and neither are we.
Nope. But we know how to face our fears
And have some fun,
and talk about all the messiest things of life.
like the messiest things.
Get connected to yourself, get connected to others, and get connected to the life right in front of you.
This is The Connected Life with Justin and Abby.
That's me.
That's you.
And you.
I was really trying to see if I wanted that to be the intro.
I was too. You paused a long time, but I guess we can cut that pause.
Well, we could do a lot of things. Anyways, hey, Connected Life peeps. Justin here. You're sick and tired of that intro, aren't you?
I hate it with a passion.
Why? It's wonderful.
I just
I'm in
hate
people's heads now.
repetition. Yeah.
No, it's like when you give a dog a treat, you know? Do you remember Dwight in The Office? Where they trained him with a sound, ding, and then got him
They
to
gave
solve
him a
it. Jim,
TikTok or something?
give him a Tic Tac.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
That's what I'm doing. I'm training our audience to salivate in their souls every time they say, "Here, hey, Connected Life peeps, Justin here." They're like, "Oh, Justin's here." I'm about to get some good emotionalness,
Emotional healthness.
Yeah, I'm excited about today. This weekend we have a descension upon Redding, California.
That sounds so ominous. But what he's talking about is that we have our life consulting masterclass that we run every year. Well, not every year, but we are running it this year. We ran it last year. And basically a bunch of students wanted to come meet.
They wanted to do a graduation. We weren't even involved in it. They were like, "We're coming, whether you like it or not." I was like,
Which
this
I
is
loved.
wild.
So we have I think 70 students coming from all over the world, other countries, other states. Everybody's flocking here to hang out and connect. And I am like a giddy little schoolgirl because we're going to get to see all these people that we've been on Zoom with all year because the school is an online.
Now I'll be able to be in person and smell their musk.
Ooh, I'm going to go sniff some musks.
LCMC musk. But what's really fun is that because of that, two of our favorite people that we met through the Connected Life actually are here with us today.
Yep.
And they have been part of LCMC with us. Before we get started in that, how was it that we met them?
Okay, on our podcast, we did like 100th episode or something, and we did a live podcast where we recorded it over Zoom, and anybody who was a listener could listen, and they all came on and we had questions and we all engaged. It was really fun, actually. We gave away things. We should do that again. And one of the things, and Carly and Amos were on the live call. And
that's who's here.
Yes, Carly and
You let
Amos.
the cat
You
out
finally get to talk.
We're here.
Welcome.
Meow.
Yes, hello. They were on the call and they won. We raffled off different things. They won.
We did an online dinner. Wasn't that what it was?
Dinner. Mm-hmm.
It was a double date.
A double date.
A double date.
And we hung out online and did a double date.
Well, it was 8 p.m. for us. So we didn't eat dinner. We watched you eat dinner.
It was so fun.
Yeah, and we got to know them, and they are some of the most unique, interesting, fun, deep, loving. They are like a live TV show is kind of how I feel. You just never know what you're going to get.
That is real.
But you're going to have fun on the whole process. And so we hung out with them. We loved that. And then connected.
They're adults without kids like us, so we got that in common.
Yeah. It was good. We had a good conversation.
Not a lot of those.
There isn't.
There's not.
Dinks, is that what it is?
Dinks.
We're all dinks. Yeah. Yeah. So we stayed connected kind of. And then they started our school, which was magical because then we got to see them all the time. And Carly she's graduating second year, which is delightful. And Amos is a dropout.
Couldn't keep up.
I'm just kidding.
Way to suck at life, Amos.
I was like, I'll do one and I'm done. This
One
is all
and
they can give me. I'm out of here. I'm pulling the plug before it's too much.
Yeah. So we love them. And so we thought we'd just jump in and have a conversation with them.
Yeah. And by the way, before we jump into that conversation with them, they have a background. So Amos is very entrepreneurial and so is Carly. And they have done so many things with their lives.
Yes,
and that's what's going to bring us into this conversation. But you guys have been people who have profoundly impacted other people, yourselves, in all the things that you've done. And it's cost you a lot in that process. And we're going to get into that cost and how that's how you guys have walked that out. I'm really excited about this because I think we come from a generation that's like, you must change the world and do something great with your life.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it comes at a huge cost.
Yep. So let's start with just a little bit about you guys. What if you gave like a couple facts? How long have you been married?
17 years. It'll be 18 years next June.
Hey,
Ooh.
Congrats.
Who hit on who first?
Amos hit on me.
I noticed you probably first. I don't like she was actually dating a friend of mine.
Oh,
he ain't your friend no more. Oh,
actually, no, I really like him. But I was like, dude, if he dropped the ball, what an idiot. And then he did.
Oh.
And then I was like,
swooped in.
Hey, who are you? And
Well,
I kind of got to know her friends.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I wasn't the guy that like, I wasn't.
You weren't the direct guy?
Chick.
Oh, no.
I wasn't like aggressive. I like wanted to see what this chick was all about from a distance.
I thought he
makes
liked
sense.
my best friend because that's who he contacted all the time. So I was like, oh, they got a thing.
I was creeping in. Yep. And then I was like, oh, this chick is the real deal. So I was like hot on it. And then I was very forward. Because remember, we were on a wedding dance. And I was like, I've never met a chick like you.
Oh.
you said I want to make it with
Straight
you.
up. Kind of. Like it was straight up like, I've never met a chick like you.
I want to do
I think
you.
you're amazing. Should we go to the bathroom right now? No, not at all. Not at all. I was way super prude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was good. Which
Yeah.
I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then, what is an interesting fact about some part of your history?
Well, there's a lot of things that Amos tells me not to say.
Wait, what?
Start with those.
Well, sometimes I
those.
tell stories and he's like, just don't say that in public.
That's
a joke.
Some of these stories are not ready for the light of day.
okay. Those are the ones we want to hear.
Oh, did you say an interesting fact?
You guys like playing practical jokes on people.
We are huge pranksters.
Dude, we are pros at pranking.
Could you share one prank story?
Yes. We collected hundreds, maybe 1,000 stuffed animals.
Yeah. We raided
A
thrift
store.
stores. And like one of our friends owned a thrift store and she was like, we have so many stuffed animals if you come and take them. So
we filled up our RV
with
with stuffed animals.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I probably got lice.
Oh my gosh.
That weekend. But
STDs
so
for
we
sure.
few STDs. So we figured out how to paste all these stuffed animals on the front of their house.
Our friends' houses. They were out of town.
Yeah.
What?
And this was all with the help of our friend Haley, who's also a prank mastermind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we had animals of all sizes, including this dog that was bigger than me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Huge.
Yeah.
So we covered their entire house was covered on the front.
Down the driveway.
No.
Yes, I'll show you pictures. So
TV came and was like showing them their house.
A news
they
story.
weren't there. And they were like,
The TV came while they were gone.
It was
news
that
station.
like people drove by and were like, this should be on TV.
Oh my gosh.
So then people started texting them, hey, look at what happened to your house. And they're in Oregon.
Oh my gosh.
And so they get home and they're just like, what the frick? And they had one person who was doing a road trip to Canada and they went out of the way to come through our town to see the stuffed animal house.
You guys could have made it like a monument if they would have left the stuffed animals.
Well, they started when kids would come because it became a tourist attraction a little bit. Kids would come and they'd give away the stuffed animals.
Oh, that's sweet.
That and stuffed animals with
winter
elements,
fall, spring,
water,
dirt,
and a soggy
snow.
giant dog in your house that's starting to mold and look nasty.
that's
It was
fair.
just like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
We did leave permanent damage on their house, which I still feel bad about.
I was like, I bet there's permanent damage on this house. However you got these.
We'll still fix your stucco, I promise.
I love you, Brandon and Sambria.
Sorry. Oh, that's a creative
Yeah, so
prank.
that takes a lot of energy, but you can do smaller things. Like I've put my friends' cars for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and then I put something really weird in the description, like the back seat is big enough for two, wink, wink. And then they get
phone calls that are like very weird. Yeah. And then are they like, what in the world is happening?
Well, at this point, people just know it's us.
They're like, that's a Carly and Amos move right there, if I ever seen one.
But sometimes we do get blamed for stuff we have not done.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I think we're creating a
January 6th insurrection.
That was all you guys.
That was us.
That was a huge break from Carly and Amos, man.
Oh man. No, we actually got an amazing community of friends that are willing to like play and dream with us, which we feel super spoiled.
So they jump in with you.
Oh yeah. Lots of whimsy.
Mm-hmm. They're like, here we go. I almost want them to just tell stories of pranks because it's so interesting.
So
I
delightful.
do have a folder on my phone of my prank photo. It's my prank portfolio.
Prank Sinatra over here.
Frank Sinatra. That's amazing.
I like that.
Okay, well, that's a good introduction to
Yeah.
you
Random.
guys.
Yeah.
Let's. Do you want to?
I was going to say, besides being pranksters, there's a lot you guys have done inside of your life. And I kind of want to get down to like, maybe even starting with Amos, because at a young age, Amos, you had jumped in and created a business, right? How old were you when you started your business?
Yeah. So I started my first business when I was 15-ish. By the time I was 16, I had like a retail shop on Main Street in my hometown, selling snow skate, stuff like that, which was
cool.
super fun. It just had a board shop as a little skater punk rock kid, which was so fun. Yeah. So I think started out just really young. My dad was entrepreneurial and really just had like strong work ethic and follow your dreams and do things with your life and work with what you're good at, and which like has given me so much confidence and peace as far as like I can do things because I had a mom and dad that like loved and supported me in that way and
They're still
encouraged me. Yeah.
I had parents. I still have those same parents.
And still amazing.
Got the same ones.
Yeah. Super awesome. But then you kind of like, as I walked into that world, I was always trying to be the best that I could be, continue to develop myself, find a way to like level up, right? I just knew I only had one life to live. Like God put me on this. Yeah, God put me on this earth. Like I got to do all the things that I can. I got to maximize all the Amos that I can to contribute to this world, which I loved. Yeah. And it wasn't out of like a selfish, like Amos is trying to be awesome, but it was just like, how can I love the world? How can I be the best me? How can I help people like love themselves? How can I contribute to in any way possible? And which was a beautiful thing. And that's a huge part of who I am. But as my life escalated and moved on, right? Like, I'm going to try to keep going and growing. The board shop wasn't quite enough. So then let's close the board shop. Let's do a clothing line. I'm marrying Hot Carl over here. And I was like, let's do the clothing line together. We'll keep going and doing this. And then that was kind of like petering. And then it's like, let's do photography. And then we don't like just shooting weddings in Bismarck. We love where we live, but like we are shooting the same thing over and over. Let's pretend that we're going to be international wedding photographers and travel the world.
Love it.
And then we did that. And then we were traveling the world and we were all over the place, which was amazing. But then you realize, I'm always gone all the time.
Yep.
I'm constantly working. I'm doing all these things, but then that's not enough. Let's continue to do ministry. So then let's do ministry. We worked with Young Life. If you guys are familiar with Young Life is amazing.
So fun. Yes. Changes the world. So many people I know, their whole life changed because of Young Life.
It's
incredible.
Yeah. We love Young Life. Volunteer leader for 20 years. Carly for
16.
Whoa.
Wow.
And we just loving on kids. And we were just put our head down and we were just going to be the best that we can be to just like love these kids. Like we're going to be the safe place. Like if mom and dad aren't safe, Carly and Amos aren't safe. Or if they have questions about stuff where it feels weird, like you can't talk about mom and dad,
can come to you guys.
Let us be part of that world for you or with you and try to fill that void.
So you mostly just were like, what we could do is be professional parents.
Yeah.
We don't want kids, but we're here to be pros. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's honestly kind of just what happened is like, we aren't going to have our own kids, but we're just going to love the piss out of all of the kids. Like anyone that comes in our path.
Yeah. Amos calls them little frickers. When he really likes a kid, he's like, that little fricker.
Oh, that's cute. That's really cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are like you're engaged in this life. You jump into ministry. You're doing all this stuff. When do you decide to take LFA?
That was in 2020.
And why?
Well, hold on a second before you say that.
I thought maybe it was around the same.
I was curious really quick, Carly. As Amos was on his process of this, were you full buy-in on everything? Were you co-creating this with him on this journey?
I really was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, let's do everything we can. And this sounds fun and this sounds fun. One thing he didn't mention is we were doing photography, but we had 3 other businesses.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah. I mean, we might have had a little bit more things going on too.
Yeah. So we were running 4 businesses.
Busy.
Yeah.
4 businesses and ministry.
Young Life.
Yeah. Young Life was 15 to 30 hours a week on top of our 4 businesses.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we liked that response at that time because
you're like, we are doing everything.
Oh yeah, to us, normal was a swear word, legit.
Right.
You're like, do anything but be normal.
Yeah, do anything but be normal. Mm-hmm.
And so you guys felt proud of how hard you were running and proud of your pace.
I think proud of it and then incredibly tired at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But was there like I'm allowed to slow down or we could do something else?
No.
Why?
No, I felt a drive internally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I felt like we live in America, which is amazing. And it's taught us so much and like help us to be builders and dreamers.
Yeah.
But it like hustle culture and building things is like so praised, but like balance or like having deep relationships, having people know you and for you to know people, not just like use people and create things isn't praised.
Totally.
Like being slow isn't praised. Like having deep conversation isn't praised. Like you being known isn't praised. So when you're like, for me, right, I'm just going to talk about myself here. Sorry, babes. But for the Amos show, right, I'm 15 and I'm like, people are praising me. Progression.
Yep.
Making things happen was like praise, right? Like, oh, he's doing this. Oh, that's really cool. Or, oh, that's so nice that you guys do this. Like, which is great, right? Like we want all those people.
Major praise for a 15, 16-year-old who's got a business. I mean, you had to be overtaken by it, by people going, what? This is amazing.
Yeah, super crazy. So you kind of just like, oh, I'm doing a good job. Like, okay, guys, like you guys are an adult. So you guys are smart. Like, yeah, okay, I'm going to keep going, right? Yeah. Like, watch. You think this is like, watch.
I'll do more.
Let me show you what I can do. Like, let's just keep going, you know? But in this world that we're living in, I feel like it's really hard to not eat that cake 24/7. You know, like I'm constantly like back in the day, it was like all those books, like I'm hustling, I'm working, I'm like maximizing, like that's part of who I am. Like my strength finders is like, I want to take any situation and like put a turbocharger on it. You know, like, you think you're getting somewhere fast right now? Wait, like
we can super speed this.
You didn't even know you had 6th gear. Let's turn this thing up. So like that was like my mentality, which is a superpower, but it's also like my kryptonite, right? To just produce and keep going and not stop was like the thing. Like I heard it was said one time that if the devil can't like tempt you, he'll like keep you busy.
Right.
Just find a way to like keep
distract
you going and producing and whatever. And that was like the life that I was living hardcore.
Yes. You were running hard.
Yeah.
What was it for you on the inside?
Well, it was several things. One of my strengths is futuristic on StrengthsFinders. And so I find a lot of joy in dreaming and, oh my gosh, we could do this, and this. And even on the trip here, it's like just talking about dreams and fun things. So I think there was a lot of fun in it.
Yeah.
But I was getting very burnt out. And there would just be certain times I would hit a wall. And I'd just say, Amos, this is too much for me. And he'd say, okay, only do what you want to do. And I'd say, I don't want to do anything. And so in hindsight, I can see that I was coming to the end of my internal energy.
But you didn't know how to end it, or what happened in your life then?
Which, before you say that, I'm imagining, Amos, given your personality type, that you may not have been aware if your heart was having problems anyways.
Oh, 100% not. Like, it was okay for Carly to have a meltdown. It was okay for Carly to be human. It was okay. I'll give her space for that. To do whatever. You slow down. I'll pick up whatever pieces that you already have. I'll find a way. I'm a superhuman. Like, watch me. I'll continue to keep going. But that leaves her feeling like almost like she's broken or less than.
Right. Why can she not keep up?
Why can't I keep up? Why can't I continue to like be at the level you are? Like, I'm broken. Amos must be perfect.
Right.
But it was like,
I had him on a pedestal.
I did.
Because you're like, I cannot do that.
Yep. And I thought, that's what I need to be. There's something wrong with me. If I can't go at this pace, it's just because I'm being weak.
Right. Which I think you guys are talking about something that is such a core human feeling, which is a drive to be and do more than where we're actually at. And the need to either prove or stay busy. I loved what you're saying, Amos, about like, it's not always praise to have deep relationships or to be known. It is praise to accomplish it.
Oh, 100%. Like for us, I remember 4 years ago or 4 or 5 years ago, I mean, I grew up with amazing friends, great people, but our life was so fast that the only reason that we were like, people would look at our calendars and like have anxiety, but they're like, you would look at it and it's like, oh, we're hanging out with a young couple. Cause like we wanted to contribute to a young couple who's like getting married and like doesn't know. So we're like, oh, this is a great couple. We want to invest in their lives. The next night it's like, oh, there's a young entrepreneurial thing. Let's go there and let's invest in our lives over there. Then let's continue to next.
Yeah. It's impossible to be connected to yourselves fully when you are that busy. This is like what I think is one of the best definitions of codependency is when I am giving out enough or I'm more focused on all the people to give to that I actually don't know what's going on inside of me, or I'm not connected to my own self, or I'm not even checking in. Can I do this? Do I want to do this? What's happening inside of me? Like the way to beat codependency is to know what you think and feel about things and be able to be honest about them. Like, and to be able to have boundaries with them and be able to think that you matter as much as the people around you. And I think what you're describing is such a common ministry myth, which is that we grew up from our generation. Now, younger people, I don't think have it as much. They probably need it more, but the idea of it's either I take care of everyone else or I take care of me. It's a very black and white thing. I'm either like self-absorbed or I serve the world. Instead of it being this balance of I need to know myself and know what's going on in me and know my limits, and I need to give and challenge myself to love.
Yes.
But that's a hard balance. So when did you guys hit the wall?
I'll tell you a little bit leading up to the wall.
Great.
So we were doing this ministry at a high school, an alternative high school, with a lot of at-risk youth. So a lot of high-level situations that were just honestly way over my head.
Trauma
way over
issues.
my pay grade, which was 0.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
And so I heard about LFA and I said, I'm going to take that class so I know how to help
the
these
other
kids.
people. Yes.
Yeah. And as I got into it, it was like, Oh, yeah, this is for me. I have a lot of inner chaos myself. This is about me and what's going on inside of me.
Which I love, because sometimes, and I have done this in my life too, when I have inner chaos, I use busyness to drown the noise of my inner chaos. I would rather not feel that chaos. And if I can go from thing to thing to thing to thing, it will silence that chaos temporarily.
Yep.
And that feels really relieving if you're just not wanting to feel it.
Right. But in the background, it's building like that scary monster in Stranger Things.
Yes.
Yes, until it's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you take LFA, you realize you have inner chaos, and then what?
You're gone?
Inner chaos, and then what?
Oh, we just kept going. Yeah. We kept going. We were still doing all the businesses, the ministry, everything. And then oh, go ahead.
I think for me, it was realizing that I was missing out on life. I was producing an amazing life. Like on paper, it was something you'd write a book about.
Totally.
Not in a braggy way. Like I ate the candy.
Totally.
Like that was my drug of choice.
Yes.
Right. But then I was like, all my old friends that I love and I care for, I don't talk to them. I don't know them. Like all these people I'm investing in the community, which I love, and my heart still goes out for them. I still love my community. I love everything about it. Like it's awesome. But in that, I didn't think about myself and I didn't think about my needs. And so I just kind of came to this realization. Like I look at Carly, going back to like 4 years, I looked at Carly and I was like, we need friends. Like we need to spend more time with like friends. Like we're just going. We're burning the candle on both ends. We need friends. And it was so crazy how we just like found a random group. Like not like I had a beautiful group of friends already, but a random group of friends that came around us and we just got to love and be part of. And that just like opened it up to like, oh my gosh, I think. And I heard a podcast with Marcus, and he was just talking about, man, and I was alone. You know, like I was producing, I was doing so much stuff, but I was alone. And like when I slowed down and I realized the things that I was missing in my life, I realized that I was like completely surrounded, doing amazing things, producing amazing things. And I was so alone. Like I was so alone. Like I have an amazing wife. Like you guys, this chick is absolutely amazing, but she didn't even know me, like the deep part of me, because I haven't slowed down enough to like realize that I'm lonely.
Totally.
Realize that I need to have peace and balance and understanding and just space. And I just didn't even realize how alone I was in this like amazing life that I had created, that I was like all of a sudden trapped in.
Totally.
I think that that's a great sentiment that you put there. This amazing life that I built, that I was trapped in. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that are high producers, and they've actually trapped themselves into a situation where on paper, it looks like they're living life, but they're not actually living life. They're actually being devoured by their life.
Right. And it's not like I'm trapped. Like I need to get out of all of this. This is horrible. But like, this is unhealthy. Like,
we were having fun that whole time. We were having fun.
Yeah.
But then hitting these stress, just total burnout.
Like I can do all these things, or maybe not. Like it would be okay, but I need to have margin. I like need to slow down, and it's not taught, or at least it wasn't really taught. I didn't like.
You didn't learn it.
I didn't seek that out at all. I
read all the books that were about hustling. Yes. None of the books about rest.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
What were the fears?
Hold on, let me say something.
Okay, yeah.
One thing that I love is like, if you don't slow down enough to know yourself, your wife can't know you, because you can't even share what you don't know about yourself, what you're not connected to about yourself. You cannot share with the people around you. And then they can't know you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, these are my people. They are willing to love me.
Yes.
Right? I am surrounded by people, but I didn't realize that I am in a one-way relationship where I am like wanting to help, take care of, be with people. I'm the strongest person in the room. I'm going to be the wisest person in the room. Again, I'm not bragging, but this is like my mentality of like, this is like what I'm trying to be, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to be this person.
Well, it's a little bit like I'm the source of a lot of people's help, basically.
Right. Like I'm God's ambassador, but God, but God, like, it was just unhealthy. Totally. It just right. It's like you can't put the exact words on it. I don't want to sound sacrilegious. I don't want to sound like something else. But it's just like it was too much Amos in the equation,
and not enough.
Amos.
Yeah.
So when I actually slowed down and allowed myself to like have feelings and to realize I'm alone, or to realize I have longings or needs to like have real people in my life and connection, that those things continued to, it was like a new language. It was like a new part of the world. Like I was only half Amos because emotions were evil, weak, small, the thing that slows you down, you know, like speed bumps, like whatever. And then it's just like, wait a minute. God made me with emotions. Like I'm not a mistake, right? Like he wasn't like someone was pouring in my brain and like shook his arm and they're like, frick, now Amos is gonna have too many emotions. Right? like he's a mistake. Amos messed up, you know, like I'm a dyslexic guy. Like whoops, you know, like God didn't know this is how it's supposed to be. So like, why am I burying this other half of me that actually teaches us what love is, or what pain is, or what anger is? Like, how do I know that I love Carly unless I have emotion of how I love? How can I protect Carly or my friends or my community unless I actually feel like I care and I, you know, get angry about when things are wrong or when things are brought up? When I'm a robot, I'm a producer. But when I'm a whole person, like, you know, like it wasn't a mistake. Like God created me to be a whole person. I can love. I can have peace. I can have anger. I can have these things that are like so much more than what I thought Amos the robot.
The full spectrum.
Yeah, I could be a whole Amos.
That's amazing.
What is that? I was going to ask Carly what that was like for her. I don't know if that was your question, Abby, but what was it like being on the other side of Amos and
robot Amos?
Amos, and were you robot Carly at some level, or because I hear that not fully, because you were able to be like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways Amos was inspirational to me, because really to live with him, like I still think he is the kindest person I've ever met. I know he is just so incredible, and so I think I did put him on that pedestal, and I need to get to that level. But I think even before I met Amos, I had a huge heart to love people. And what I noticed through many years of investing in people is I think I was doing it as genuinely as I knew how to.
100%.
Right then.
Yeah.
But I got to a point where I noticed I'm having so much resentment towards the things that I'm doing, and even people in some situations. And I would just push through that because I thought it doesn't matter how I feel. I need to do. Love was something that was on the outside of me. It's something that I do.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't have to feel it inside.
Right.
I don't need to feel mushy gushy to love somebody.
Sure.
Which is still
Which
true.
is true. Yeah.
Still true. But I noticed I didn't feel like I was being genuine anymore because so many of the things I was doing, I just truly did not want to do.
Yeah.
Were you? I was going to say, by the way, resentment is such a sign internally. When we get resentment towards other people and start getting that type of anger, it's really our heart's way of having a conversation with us. It's our inner heart saying like, hey, you care more about them than you do about me. You're violating me. And I know like in the past, I'd be like, oh, I have to do all these things for all these people. And then I was like, why am I angry at them? They're not making me do this. They're not making me be these things. Yeah. Oh, my heart doesn't have any other language to get my attention, but it's saying stop.
Yeah.
And take care of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that.
No. You beat it down. You said, you shut your mouth.
I did. I just kept stabbing it. Just a bloodbath.
Yeah. Because there's no black and white, right? Like that's the thing is like, we have to say, well, I have to 100% not care about people then and I care about myself.
Right. No, that's horrible.
That's like completely wrong.
And that will dissociate you from yourself.
Yes.
Exactly. I had no understanding of what caring for yourself meant.
Yes.
You thought it was a pedicure.
Yep. I thought it was a pedicure. And so I'd get a pedicure and then I'd be like, that fixed nothing. I still got bunions.
Yeah.
So how did you guys start to learn to connect to yourselves and start to learn to pay attention? And when did you start to actually tune in?
I think it was during LFA in 2020. And you would talk to us about kind of apologizing to ourselves and being with ourselves. And it was a totally new experience for me to even look inside and say, oh my gosh, you're feeling so sad right now. I'm so sorry. I just had never, I actually think that I thought it was wrong to do that because I thought it was selfish.
Yeah. I think a lot of people can know that.
So I think that's when it started. Yeah.
And then you just continued on the journey.
I continued on the journey until life beat me down a little more.
Talk about that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I don't think our patterns really changed. We were starting to notice our own emotions.
Dipping your toes in the water.
Dipping in, yep. Noticing our own emotions, being able to validate the hard things that were going on. And then even with each other, seeing that more openness with each other.
And to our friends and our friend groups.
Yes.
You know, saying no to ministry or other things, not because we don't love the people, but because we needed to balance, right? Yeah. It's not them, it's actually us. Like, sorry, we bit off way more than we can chew. Like, I'm sorry that I am a single life raft and a lot of people are trying to get on and I made you think that you could get on.
Totally.
Whoops. You know, like I can't be everything for everyone, especially if I'm not connected to what I want to do and like to have like the balance so that I can contribute in a way that's actually healthy.
I really liked how you articulated that because I did the same thing for years. I made it look like I could save everyone. Like I wanted to be able to. My heart intention was to love everyone in a way they've never been loved before, or to be there for people in the way people weren't there for them, or to help them to never be too busy for them. Like I made all of these things I wanted to be for people. And so I did create this atmosphere. And I think that's part of like, for me, taking ownership was like, it wasn't that people wanted to suck me dry. It's that I advertised, please come suck me dry. No. Oh, it's a bad analogy. It's a bad analogy.
Let's put it on a billboard.
Please suck me dry.
Just a picture of it.
That's going to be a new t-shirt. The Connected Life t-shirt.
So but the idea.
Leave it to Carly to take it there.
I didn't mean to. But the concept of being like, oh, I'm part of my own equation because I have to let go of the image of who I wanted to be for you. I have to let go of being the best. I mean, it was like I wanted to be the best person. I wanted to be the most loving person. I wanted, and deep down, there was this is what it is to be a good person. And we often are chasing after this image of who we think we should be more than we're chasing after figuring out who we authentically are.
Yes.
And I think that can get tricky. So anyway, you continue on with your story about how you went towards the wall.
Well, I think I wouldn't have had the language for it at the time, but I thought by doing all those things, that made me good.
Yes.
So if I stopped doing those things,
you'd be bad.
Then I'm bad.
That's really high stakes.
Then I can't love myself and I don't deserve love from other people.
I'm less than.
Yeah.
I should have done better.
Mm-hmm.
I have been going at this pace. Why do I feel
like I can't
anymore? Like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah. Which what you're talking about, I love, is called shame highs.
Yes.
So shame highs is when like I feel like I'm a good person because of my performance, but you cannot have shame highs without shame lows, which means if I stop performing, I'm a bad person. It's the same stick. And it gets so complicated when we feel loved for what we do, not for who we are.
Yes. Yeah. And I think the truth is that I was running off of stress for so many years that that's the only fuel I knew. I didn't know how to live from anything else. And so that's why the pattern didn't change at first.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what else would drive me. Yeah. So I think when things started to first slow down was something completely out of our control. The pandemic.
Yeah. COVID.
That did it for
a lot of people.
Yeah. But what I noticed is we were at home. We didn't have as much to do. And I was super stressed out.
Wow.
I still have way too much to do. I can't keep this house. I have so much to do.
Interesting.
While I'm stuck in the four walls of our house. Okay, that should be a clue. And even then, we kept doing a lot of the things that we were doing. But there was different stressors that came into play. My dad got cancer during the pandemic, and that felt really, really stressful.
Oh, gosh,
just being scared for him.
So out of control. You can't control it, but you care so much.
Yep.
Yeah.
And our dog had died a few months before that, who was like our child, who was with us the first 12 years of our marriage.
Long time.
I know. Yeah. Rip. Rip Kita.
Yeah.
Love her. And then where was I? Oh, yeah.
2020.
Dad,
Your
cancer,
dad,
death
your
of dog.
So much
just the basic
compassion.
things.
Death of dog, so much compassion.
COVID.
Yeah. And I was still living out of my stress pattern. Just go, go, go. Even the grief from losing our dog, I had no grid for how to process that. Yeah. And then I started LCMC. And that was wonderful. And I was learning.
Well, let's just start with you're a friggin' stress ball when you and I had a conversation going into LCMC.
Gosh. Yeah, Justin probably wanted to wring my neck.
No, that's not true. He loved you.
I didn't, Jay.
Yeah, I was. Every decision for me has been high stakes.
Yes.
That was the grid I lived from. High stakes. Every decision is high stakes. Should I do LCMC? What if it's something else? What if I should do something else? Just a constant
like the
loop.
Right or wrong will destroy my life, or it'll be the right thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
What did I do to you on that? Do you remember what I did to you with LCMC?
Yeah.
Do you want to share how I handled you on that?
Well, you had a lot of nice calls with us.
Yeah.
And then you were like, yeah, I don't think you should do this. Yeah. And then I was like, oh no, it was really funny because I'd come to peace with my decision to do it and then got your email. I don't think you should do this. And I was like, well, shit.
and it wasn't some sort of sales strategy either. I was like, this person hasn't settled into themselves to say yes into this experience. And I want people that want to say yes into it.
Then they know that it's
and
right.
I was like, I'm going to take this off the table for you so you don't have to keep stressing out. You're like, no, really, I'm ready to go into it. And
I came crawling back.
Yeah. Great sales technique. But
I paid in full that day.
That's funny.
But really, it was one of those where I was like, I want her to be able to settle into herself. I don't want her to feel like this is high stakes. That's going to cause her to miss out on the fullness of what she could be getting in this space anyways.
Oh yeah.
If she goes into it with a high stakes mentality and runs all the way through it. And really a lot of my conversation was with you, if I remember right, was around like, if you're going to do this, you need to learn how to be present with what's right here and let go of your expectations of how this thing is going to look.
Yeah. And to not make every decision life or death.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's interesting because now that we're talking about it, I remember that, and that felt true to where you were at then, but it feels like a different person to me now.
It does.
Like, it's funny to talk about, like, because that doesn't feel anything like what you are like now.
Mm-hmm. I've grown. I'm not all the way there,
sure,
Abby, but yeah.
Well, I'm just saying you don't feel like that. You don't feel paralyzed by anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you've become powerful in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And present in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah. So first year LCMC started, and I started to learn about my triggers and where my pain was coming from and why I was actually running myself at the pace that I was. And so I think gradually we slowed down, but truthfully, I was still running from stress, out of stress is what I mean. I was running from a place of stress. And then in 2021, I got hit with this crazy illness, and it lasted for a year and a half, and it completely rocked my world.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just, it's a whole nother podcast, a whole nother story.
Yep.
But it really threw me for a loop
because you couldn't just push through it.
Nope. And I couldn't understand what was going on.
Your body said stop.
And there was so little help. Something I read said only 500 people in the world have experienced this certain illness. And so there's not a lot of help for it. So that felt very
out
hopeless.
Of control.
Yeah. But now in hindsight, I can see exactly what Justin said. My body was telling me, you have to stop. You have to stop. This is not good for you. And it's not what I want for you.
Wow.
So I started listening. I mean, life made me listen.
Your body grabbed you and screamed, you will listen to me or else.
Yes. Yeah.
And so then you went on the journey of connecting even more to your body and to your heart and to your needs.
Yep.
And what have you found out?
Wow. It has been quite a process. I've learned that regulation actually is the answer. I didn't like that. I thought, this is very stupid.
We teach this at LCMC and nobody likes it.
No.
People are like, no, I want to fix the problem.
Yeah. We're like, Abby, all this stuff is cute that you're saying, but can you just tell me how to fix the actual problem?
Yeah. I want to get through it right now.
Yeah.
Not regulate.
Yeah. So what I've learned is my body was in that constant stress pattern. And because my body told me to stop, I had to stop. I couldn't keep going. And so that's when I started to learn how to actually get peace as a felt sense into my body.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's made all the difference.
Could you tell an example of a moment that you felt peace in your body or a breakthrough you've had in connecting to peace in your body?
Yeah. Well, I could tell you part of what I do for brain retraining.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. I have this visual where I'm in a lavender field and I'm with Amos and Justin.
I'm there?
You're there.
That's awesome.
You're there. And
so
Bob
cool.
and Bob Goff.
Really? Oh, that's a good one. I got to be in that field.
I know.
That's rad.
You were having a great time. I mean, you were streaking, but we were like, let him do it.
That's a realistic visual.
That's Justin.
Yeah. And my dog is there too. Yeah. And in the lavender field, this is going to maybe sound a little bit like weird and woo-woo, but the point in brain retraining is that you feel everything in a scene with your 5 senses.
Absolutely.
So that you can get that felt, it's not just a head knowledge of peace. It's, I can actually feel myself sigh inside. And it starts to feel more like flowing water than this like brick of anxiety.
That is a great analogy.
That's really good.
It's really true. And I think before I want to have you keep going on this is the same journey that I've had to go on. And same thing with health journey too, realizing, I've lived my life out of dysregulation and my body didn't know how to feel peace and safety. And if it did feel it, it didn't know how to sit in it for very long. And the process of actually learning how to connect to my body and know what it feels enough to even be able to do an exercise where I could feel goodness in my body, where I could visualize something that could help me feel safe and peaceful. That took work to just build the relationship with my body. It was like a reconciliation journey that I went on to even be able to then feel the embodiment feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's important what you said, that at the beginning, it feels so slow. And like, oh, I only felt peace for 30 seconds.
Yes.
This is a bunch of BS.
Totally.
And then as you persevere, you see, oh, I actually can get there and stay there. My window of tolerance is growing for life, and I can stay in peace and in flow for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. I didn't mean to ruin your lavender field.
Oh.
Was there more to it?
No, that's fine. Yeah, for me, some of my visualizations are very still, where I'm just being surrounded by powerful people who would take care of me.
Yeah.
And
safety. So a sense of
safety.
great safety.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of safety. And I just start walking through the lavender field with you guys. And it's like the lavender, it has a scent, obviously, but I can like see it in the air, and it's like I'm breathing it in, getting that into my body. And for me, it's imagining that change is in the air. So like that lavender scent is change in the air. Yeah. And something that's cool about brain retraining is that when you start around, they call it, you start with a trigger. So you start thinking about the thing that triggers you. You know, for me, it's been the illness.
Your body.
Yep. And then pairing that with a good body sensation will actually lead your brain into a new pathway where, number one, the illness isn't as scary because you've paired it with something that's safe. But number two, your brain starts to almost forget about the symptoms.
Oh, it can let go.
It can let go. Yeah. And it is really that you are training yourself to be more aware of safety than of threat, which is something you treat us all the you treat us.
We treat
you treat us with that. You teach us that all the time.
Yeah. It's really hard. It's shocking how hard it is to retrain your brain to safety, and then how simple it is. You're like, it feels so hard internally to learn how to, if you've embraced chaos, which you guys lived in anxiety and chaos. I did that too. My nervous system was on like go past what is normal. Be a superhuman. I shouldn't have to follow the same rules that everybody else follows. Like I can be a better human. I'm the exception to the rule. And then, but you have all these symptoms of anxiety, or for me in my body, so much stuff that learning, like, oh, I didn't know that it could be as simple as learning how to reorient to safety.
Yep.
But it is a lot of work to learn how to reorient to safety.
Which, by the way, we're talking about the chaos. We as a culture, we're so intimate with chaos. In a variety of ways, whether we're trying to climb some ladder and make an awesome life, or we are just creating chaos within our family cultures and stuff like that. But it's that sense that when we're talking about regulation or dysregulation, we live lifestyles as human beings where we're very much often in dysregulation. We don't know what peace feels like. Peace is as far as the East is from the West from us. We have normalized our intense anxieties. We're hyped up on caffeine and nicotine and all kinds of things that keep us stimulated from moment to moment, whether it's swiping on a phone or it's watching an intense movie. And like settling down in a sense of peace is, it's actually really terrifying for us to get connected to that, right? And so when you're talking about this, I'm like, oh, like people should listen in, like take note, like how much chaos is in my life. Do I actually have a lifestyle of chaos that I've normalized? Because for you guys, you wouldn't have said you had, you wouldn't have said you had chaos. You'd be like, no, this is just, we're
living our best lives.
It's so called awesome. Being awesome.
and like all of a sudden you're starting to realize, oh, peace is not an intimate friend of mine.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even understand what peace was.
Right.
For me, I have peace because God is in control. right?
Right.
Like God's big
A
enough.
logical idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
all
it's
gonna be
fine.
good.
Like it's good. Yeah, I'm good. Everything's good. It's gonna be fine. It's great. But I thought of peace as like boredom. Yeah, like peace means I'm sitting, or I'm going to be this woo-woo person and think about being in lavender field. Yeah. Like
I'm sitting in lavender field.
Psycho,
Freak like Carly.
woo-woo, yeah, right? But like, I think I had to sit down and just go, there's a difference between boredom and peace.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I can't sit and be slow with God, who is in control, because I'm not in control. But if, like, he gives me what I can control, right? Okay, we're reading between the lines here. So if I'm trying to control all these things, oh, no, I lost it. Sorry.
If you can't sit and be at peace.
Oh, if I can't sit and be at peace, and I'm like running from peace because it's boredom or it's unproductive.
Mm-hmm.
But to learn how to sit because of his sovereignty, and that he actually created us to be able to live in the fruits of the Spirit, peace, love, joy, patience, kindness, not in a place of production, but just like it just comes out of me. And like, it was just so foreign, like God loves me. He just loves me, right? Like, I can so often, like, I see the world. Sorry, I'm rambling. Here we go, guys. I see the world like the prodigal son. And people like think of the prodigal son. And no one ever thinks about the turmoil of the good kid.
Right.
Like, they don't think about the fact that, like, he did everything right.
Yeah.
He was killing it.
Mm-hmm.
He was showing his dad, like, I can do all the things. And then numbnut comes walking back, right? And like, everyone praises the fact that this good father like loves this total screw up.
Sure.
So like, I'm trying to like be the good father instead of like not realizing that I'm actually the guy who's producing. I'm like the older son, and there's not actually like either or. Like, it's in the middle, and like letting God be God and us be part of what he's doing, and just having peace, not boredom, not unproduction. I'm not bad if I slow down. I'm not bad if I have needs. I'm not bad if I
have emotions,
right? Yeah. It's just really an interesting thing, at least for me, to find peace and not villainize it. When it was actually something that he designed us for and wanted us to have. It's like, this is why I died. You can't do all the things.
Yeah.
You can't produce the peace. Like, this is why I came, so it's very interesting.
It's beautiful. I do think that people forget that we are designed for peace.
Yeah.
And
it's a posture of rest. You could be active physically, but you could be at rest internally. A lifestyle of rest, because you're connected with, like you said, the peace. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't think we're called to sit in a lilac field all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
But we are supposed to be at peace. We're not robots. Like, he didn't create us to be robots.
Well, and part of being at peace is recognizing that we're loved for who we are, not for what we do. Yeah. Which means if I'm loved for who I am, not what I do, that means I can either produce a lot or I can produce a little, but either way I'm loved. And honestly, I would hate to say this. I don't think, like, there's gifts inside of every hardship on the planet, which is
there's redemption in it.
There's redemption in anything. One of the things I've learned with sickness is I actually do believe, because I've had seasons where I could produce a lot and I've had seasons where I could do nothing. And I actually had to learn, can I be loved? Like, do I believe I'm lovable and worthy in both places?
Yeah.
Do I believe that I have value? Either one. Because a source of peace is knowing that you're loved regardless, knowing that you're loved unconditionally, knowing that you matter here, whether you're taking over the world like you guys were in your young time, or whether you're slowing things down. I mean, both of you actually spent the last, year and a half slowing things down?
Yeah.
Is that what it's been?
Yep.
Yeah.
And what is
Since
that?
January 1st for this guy.
And what has that been like? We're running out of time, so give an overall view of it. But what has it been like for you to slow things down?
Go ahead, honey.
I think by slowing down, I've been able to notice my own emotions more and just be with them, and not. I would always try to just get an emotion over with.
Fix it.
I'm feeling anxiety. Get out of me.
Yeah.
I have to move on.
Yeah.
And so just by being with myself and showing myself that compassion and that love, I feel myself free up. And back to my stress patterns, now I know, oh, I'm going down that old pathway. Do I want to go down a different pathway now? Do I want to go against the grain of how I used to build my life?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful. What about, I'll give you another question, unless you have an answer for that you want to share.
I don't know. My little brain's going all over the place.
You've got too many answers.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. It's been tormenting. It's been interesting. It's been stretching. It's been fun. It's been learning.
It's everything. I agree. That is the price of slowing down. You're feeling with yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here's a good one. Maybe we're going for it. Is slowing down. Like me and Carly have led retreats with a friend, like where we take entrepreneurs and we do emotional health and we talk about how to like create community and how to like communicate with people, like a full retreat, right? We go to a friend's house in this slow time, and one of them had been at one of our retreats, or at the retreat. It wasn't our retreat. And I just sat in their living room and we just hung out, and I didn't even like hardly say anything. I just like sat there and hung out and chilled and like was part of the like, conversation. And like I called them afterwards and I like apologized. I was like, guys, I am so sorry. I didn't even realize, like, I'm driving home and I would just realize that I was like really quiet or kind of whatever. And that was probably really weird for you. And they're like, yeah, I talked to Joel, and Joel was like, and I was like, is Amos okay? Did we say something? Is something weird? And it's like, what's going on? Because like usually I'm the one like, this is how you communicate. This is how we like hang out. Like I'm the guy. And I was like, you guys, your house is safe. And I was like, you guys, I like you. And I feel like we can just talk. I don't have to perform or be or ask or get or take things to the next level or where's your heart at? Like I could literally sit on your couch and enjoy you guys and going to my family's lake cabin and just like being there and hanging out and playing cards and not just being like, how am I going to maximize all this, take it up to the next level, and I'm going to produce and make it just like, how can I like find a way to make her cry because she found something emotional? That's a joke, but you know what I mean? Like totally over the top, like how that is weird
to just
for
be.
me. But also so beautiful because I sat and I noticed it when I drove home that I enjoyed my friends.
Wow. That's good.
I didn't have to be on a show with them. They're safe. It's okay to just enjoy. Yeah. And then like so freeing and so huge. Yeah. But yet it's absolutely nothing. Yeah. It's so weird. Like I didn't do anything. I did less, but I actually got more.
Yes. 100%.
Because I wasn't trying to produce or manipulate or build or grow or. And they were just like, oh my gosh, that's the greatest compliment I think I've ever heard in my life. Like I was scared that you were like, something was wrong. But now I'm like, I want our house to be like that. Like I want it to be a safe place wherever. They're awesome. Yeah.
I've described it like we were running our life off of Slurpee energy.
Yes.
That's good.
The sugary drink from the gas station.
7-Eleven.
Yep. And now our systems are switching over to smoothie energy, something that's actually healthy for us. And it is becoming an outflow of genuine love to other people too. Because I think we're in a place now we're still getting there.
100%.
But of knowing that we are loved if we don't produce anything. we are valuable and we still have our identity no matter what we do. And so now it's feeling like love is a real experience, even in my body, of that peace. And then I think that is going out to other people too. Not in the flashy ways that it used to maybe, but it feels more genuine and nourishing.
Ugh. You guys, really cool. This has been so good. I've had so many moments of like feeling the words that you're sharing, and it's so good always to be reminded it's about peace. It's about rest. It's not about doing it. Like it's a culture. You're just on social media. Everything is hustle, do, grow, become, all of that. And if you lose sight of what the true richness in life is, which is being able to be loved, being able to be known, being able to love from that place, being able to experience safety and peace inside your body, not because I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to you guys.
I feel like you guys are really creating a connected life. Oh, you see what I did there?
But you sure did. Yeah.
Way to go, Dad.
The perfect closer.
Yeah. It's a delight to see how far you guys have grown. When I first met Amos, his head was in the clouds. Yeah. Delightful as a human being. Like absolutely vibrant, exciting, interesting, and head in the clouds. And when I met Carly, she was very fun, vibrant, alive, exciting, but also like felt wound up. Yeah. Like locked up on the inside. Yep. And it just feels amazing to see how far you guys have come in such a short time. Yeah. You are very different than when I met you, and still on your growth journey, as we all are. But I just feel really proud of you. Both have done a lot of work, and you both have paid a big price to grow. And it's beautiful listening and witnessing and watching it. And I have loved this entire podcast.
Yeah, it's been so good. I also, when you were talking about your visualization in the lavender field, I was literally going into the lavender field myself in that. I was like, oh, this lavender field's really nice.
You're going to steal her peace place. Me and Bob Goff. And you're going to go with Bob Goff and Amos and their dog.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But that felt so good to my soul to participate in that. I was like genuinely connecting into it. Like, oh, I need to go spend some time in my own lavender field.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
It sounds floofy.
Oh no.
But really it does something so real inside of you.
I have a whale that I lay on. Okay. What does that mean? I had a dream one time where a whale came into a bay, a beautiful bay, beautiful water and sandy and warm, and it came up from under me. I was in the bay, and it lifted me up on it. I was laying on it, and I knew in the dream, I'm like, oh, I'm laying on God. It was God coming to connect with me, and I could feel the enormity and the power, and also the love and the tenderness of it. And it was something that left a very big impact on my soul when I came out of that dream. And ever since then, I can go see myself laying on top of the whale and just letting all my guards down and coming to a sense of peace as I can feel the serenity of the water, and I can hear the heartbeat of the whale. And I'm just like, I'm okay right here.
It's so important that whatever the visual, this is the teacher in me, that you have the 5 senses. So the lavender field, you can smell, you can imagine the textures, you can imagine the sounds, you can imagine the visuals. Like that, the one that I go to is me in a convertible filled with my girlfriends that have been my friends for a long time. And I can feel the sun on my skin and feel the wind in our face and smell the fresh, like in spring where it's like fresh flowers when you drive through, and hear the chatter and the laughter and the music and then the imagination of what it's like to know that there's a few people on the world who have your back, who aren't going to turn on you. Yeah. That's one of my safe ones.
That's super cool.
Well, Justin taught me that safe place. I think you were the first person who taught me that, and that I could store it in my body. And so even in moments of stress, I can think, where's somewhere safe I can go? And I have that to go to.
That's beautiful. So cool. Well, if you think this is all foofy, it does actually work. And if you want to understand it more, applications for LCMC are open now.
Yeah.
And we are trying to get people to sign up quicker because you do have to do a course. It comes free with LCMC, but you have to do the course before it starts. So it starts in January.
We're going to throw on your plate.
You have to do a course before January. And so this would give you time to do that without you feeling crazy.
Yeah. And you can go to Justin and Abby, that's abi.com. And you can go to Masterclass and you can get all the information that you need from there if you want to apply. And is there any way that, do you want people to be able to contact you guys, or are you like off grid? Okay. How can they contact you if they want to?
Instagram, Carly Loves Amos.
Aww.
Carly loves Amos. And his is Amos Loves Carly.
Cute. That's so cute. You guys are so cute.
Well, that was the name of our wedding photography business.
That makes sense. Yeah. But still very cute.
Yeah. And it's true most of the time.
That you love each other.
Yeah, we get it most of the time.
Yeah, we love each other most of the time too.
You guys,
a good 60%.
If y'all were impacted by this wonderful story from Carly and Amos, as we talked about this, remember to rate, review, subscribe, and share. I say it all the time, but please, like that's the thing. If you feel impacted and you're like, oh, I just want to give back to them for how this has touched my life or changed something in my world, then go do that on iTunes or wherever there's places that you can review where you're listening from, because that matters. So
It does matter.
All right, guys, I'm so tired. I got a big weekend and I'm going to go away now. I need rest.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.